take on Dallas Baptist, the 11th trip to the NCAA tournament for the VCU baseball program. Sean Stifler making his first trip to the NCAAs. You can stick around and watch a little of that game here at Home Team Grill.
Going to watch a little bit of it, root for the Rams. I like our chances. Tonight. We got good pitching. It's always want good pitching in that first matchup. We'll see what happens.
It feels like the score 11 is a key number. This is the 11th trip to the NCAA tournament. Rams have won 11 straight games. You're the 11th head coach of the Rams. I feel like, for whatever reason, 11's the lucky number.
Let's score 11 runs tonight and win.
I'll take that. All right, let's get going. So the month of December, which over the last 4 or 5 years has been a terrific month for VCU. I think Coach Smart had only lost like 1 game in the month of December. That was to Virginia in like 3 years. You have definitely December loaded your schedule, Coach. And let's begin with a November 2nd date. We're going to travel to Middle Tennessee State, which is just outside of Nashville, to take on Kermit Davis's Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. They made the NCAA tournament in 2013. They made the CIT last year. It's a home and home with Middle Tennessee State on Wednesday, December 2nd. We'll be going to Murfreesboro.
This is a really, really good team. Their 3-year RPI is 81. They returned their top 3 scorers. They played in the Conference USA Championship. This is going to be a tough game. This is just like when we went to Illinois State last year, a game like that. This is going to be a brutally tough road game for us. They've got kid Reggie Upshaw. They've got a kid Perrin Buford and Jaquan Raymond, who transferred from NC State. They've got a very, very good team. Coach Davis is an excellent coach, and they got a nice arena. They'll have 7,000 people in there. It's going to be a tough game. They lost in the Conference USA Championship game this past season, and they'll be predicted to be, right there at the top of the league, and it'll be a top 100 RPI game for sure, and it'll be a very, very stern road test. It'd be just like a very good conference road game in the A10. So it's going to be a good game. We played them last year at Chattanooga up there. Have some familiarity with them, but it'll be a good game and hopefully a fun trip as it's right outside of Nashville.
Now, how far outside of Nashville is it? It's in the middle of Tennessee.
Depends on how fast you drive.
But relatively faster. I know how fast you drive.
It's about 45 minutes.
Right.
About 40 to 45 minutes from Nashville, just south of Smyrna, which is one of the suburbs of Nashville, and it's a university town, college town, Murfreesboro, but it'll be a good trip and a tough game for us, but one that will definitely prepare us for the conference. They're a big physical team and will really just try to mash you inside, and should be a great matchup.
Now, Illinois State last year, we went there, we won. It was a good win for us. Will you try to schedule these? Middle Tennessee State isn't necessarily the biggest name opponent that's on this list. Will you try to schedule those teams that you know are going to be good, that are going to give us a hard time, but might not have the name on the front of the jersey that our fans and maybe even some of your players would be fired up about?
A lot of it's about numerics and looking at numbers, and you've got to get so many top 100 games to position yourself for at-large to the NCAA. So where can you go get the top 100 games and give yourself the best opportunity to pick a couple of those off on the road and have them come back at home, and so that's that's how you build the schedule. I'm not concerned about the names as much as I am of what their profile is going to look like in March, and Middle Tennessee's profile is going to look very, very good in March, and like I said, their 3-year rolling RPI is 81, and they've been much higher than that, and he had a young team this past year, returned just 3 leading scorers, and they're going to be very, very good, and them and UAB will be the favorites to win Conference USA with Old Dominion right there with them. So it'll be a stern test for us and a really, really good game.
So if you're really keeping track of the Rams, you play Saturday against a good Old Dominion team. Then you go on Wednesday to Murfreesboro to take on Middle Tennessee State. Then we head for Game 8 of the season on Sunday, December 6th, against the Florida State Seminoles. And we play that game in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Phillips Arena, which will be part of what could be maybe a triple header, definitely a double header. They told us the NBA Hawks will play that night in the Phillips Arena. But this is the first of a 2-game stretch where we go to Atlanta against the Seminoles.
Yeah, it'd be a good game with Florida State. They're obviously a very long, athletic team. They've been very, very good. They'll have one of their best teams they've had this year. They've got the kid Raython Mays back. They've signed a top 5 recruiting class, Malik Beasley, Dwayne Bacon. They've got kid Phil Kofer who can really rebound. So they'll be great. Coach Hamilton does a good job. it's a good neutral court game for us in Phillips Arena. It's something that we added here late. It was actually the last game that we added. We were searching for another neutral court game, and we had a deal worked out with Florida State to play them down in Florida, but it was on the same day as our game with Cincinnati, so then we had to find another venue that would host us in a neutral court game, and Atlanta worked for us because it's an easy trip for us, and it worked for them because they have some recruits from there, and Phillips Arena was accommodating, and they're hoping it'll be a doubleheader with two more NCAA teams, but that's yet to be determined. But we're going to play Florida State there, and it'll be a really good one-time neutral court deal, and they're going to be they'll be one of the upper echelon teams in the ACC. And it'll be a very, very good test for us.
Well, you seek those kind of games. I know in the 7 years that I've been here, we've been and played in Oklahoma City against Oklahoma. That was the year before you got here. We've been to the Barclays Center to take on Boston College. Obviously, there was the Governor's Hoops Classic here at the Richmond Coliseum. Will you try to find those neutral site made-for-TV games against big-name opponents throughout your career?
We like those. We've already got one locked in for the following year. And so we like those games, and I think it's good for our fans. I think it's good for, it's good for us to get somebody like that on a neutral court where we don't have to play a home and home. It's a neutral court game. It'll prepare you for the for tournament style setting. So we're excited about the game. I think it's a good game for us.
All right, so that's Sunday, December 6th. Then I imagine exams begin that Monday. You go all through that week. You don't play the next weekend. The next time we surface for a game is on the 15th of December, a Tuesday night, where we go back to Atlanta and take on Brian Gregory's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who returns their best starter, Marcus Georges-Hunt, who averaged 14 and 6 last year for the Jackets. They got 4 seniors on that team, and obviously an ACC team on the road is always going to be difficult, no matter what their record was previously.
Well, they're going to be much improved. They've got. You mentioned Marcus Georges-Hunt. They've got a kid, Charles Mitchell, back who averaged 10 a game. They just got a transfer from Virginia Tech, who was their leading scorer, Adam Smith. They just got a transfer from Arkansas Little Rock, who's eligible immediately, James White, who's really good. And then they lost 13 of their ACC losses were by 6 points or less with a young team, and they pretty much return everybody and add some transfers. So they'll be much improved. It'll be a tough road game. It's the start of a home and home with them, so they'll return it to the Siegel Center the following year, which was important for us to have an ACC team or have a really good team coming back to the Siegel Center. But it'll certainly be a tough test down in Atlanta, and it's a good game for us and one that we're looking forward to.
So that was Tuesday, December 15th against the Yellow Jackets in Atlanta. Then for the first time, really all month, we make our first appearance at the Siegel Center in December on the 19th. It's a Saturday night or Saturday. It could be a Saturday night game, depending on the folks in television. We'll take on the Cincinnati Bearcats, who last year were 23-11. They were 13-5 in the American Athletic Conference. They are one of the 5 NCAA teams that VCU would play this year. Nick Cronin wasn't on the bench last year when the Rams beat him. Larry Davis was there. It was right when he had that brain aneurysm that they had talked about. Rams handled Cincinnati there in Cincinnati, so you've got to believe they're going to be out for blood with a very talented team and really one of the great programs in all of college basketball.
Yeah, they've been to 5 straight NCAA tournaments looking for their 6th. They've got a local kid, Troy Copain. They've got a kid, Gary Clark, from right down the road in Clayton, North Carolina, right off 95. So they have a tremendous program. They're just a tough, gritty team. They'll want to turn it into a tractor pull. It'll be a tough game. But they're a great team, a great program. Like I said, they'll go to their 6th straight NCAA tournament this coming year, and it'll be a great game. You want to have good games like that at home, and I know our fans will be excited about it, and our players will be excited about it. We'll be excited about it, and looking forward to playing them.
So as you think about it, as you look, and I know our fans here that are listening to us, and they'll get this obviously on a sheet, we'll release it on VCUathletics.com. If you go back to Friday, November 20th, and then the 22nd of November, it's either Duke, Wisconsin, Georgetown, and then you go American, then it's Old Dominion, Middle Tennessee State, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and Cincinnati. That is a strong gauntlet of games from that New York trip all the way down. Really only American, the non-power conference school, or at least a school of deep tradition. I would imagine that month of basketball games, we'll find out a lot about VCU during that 1 month.
Yeah, we're going to be ready to go. So we've got some work to do. We'll be ready to go. But that's what you want to do. You want to challenge yourself in the non-conference. You want to play you want to play good teams, and you'll play them wherever you can play them. So we're excited about it. It'll be a great challenge for us, but I know our guys will be ready.
All right, so now we got 3 more games remaining. We come back December 26th.
These are important too, Robbie.
Definitely. I'm with you there. Another NCAA tournament team.
Got 2 more.
But this one is our first of 2. Our 4th and 5th NCAA tournament team. The Buffalo Bulls, from all the way up the State University of New York Buffalo campus, coached by Nate Oates, who took over for Bobby Hurley, who went to Arizona State. Oates was on Hurley's staff for a couple years, so he just assumes the head coaching reins. Buffalo lost to West Virginia and Columbus last year in the NCAA tournament, 89-84. Of course, we've been to Buffalo before. I know a lot of the people in this town have really good ideas and really good memories of Buffalo, but this is a program that is on the rise. I imagine who maybe fancy themselves of trying to fill the shoes of what VCU does is one of those programs that can make some noise as they come to Siegel Center on December 22nd.
Very good team. You talk about a team that, their RPI was 31 last year. Whoa. They were 31st in the RPI, so they're a very, very strong team. They returned they returned their best player, Justin Moss. He's just a big inside presence, 17.5, 18 points a game. Really, really good player. They almost, they had West Virginia on the ropes in the NCAA tournament, so it'll be an extremely tough game. They'll be picked to win the MAC again this year. It wouldn't surprise me at all for them to get back to the NCAA tournament, so it'll be a very difficult game for us heading into the holiday break.
All right, then December 27th, it's a Sunday, so 2 days after Christmas, which is on obviously a Friday, the Liberty Flames come up from Lynchburg. Richie McKay, an old friend, I know someone that has close relationships with a lot of coaches that have been here over the last few years. He takes an 8-24 Flames team from last year, but he brings them up from the Big South to the Siegel Center for another in-state game.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries last year, and Coach McKay takes over. He'll get them turned around in relatively short order. So, you always want to play in-state teams if you can, and Liberty's certainly a good in-state team and somebody we look forward to playing here at the Siegel Center.
Why in-state teams? What is it about in-state teams that you like so much?
I think there's certain interest in it, and people are familiar with Liberty. There's Liberty folks in town, and it just continues to buzz about the program.
And finally, the final non-conference game of the season, we go on December 30th here at the Siegel Center, the North Florida Ospreys, who come from the Atlantic Sun Conference. They won that conference. That's the 5th NCAA tournament team that the Rams will play in the 2015-16 season. They lost in the first 4 to Robert Morris, 81-77. The Ospreys have one of the great young coaches in Matthew Driscoll, and here they are. They come back to Siegel Center, another team that's a little bit like Florida Gulf Coast almost. You don't know about them, but you know them through the NCAA tournament.
They'll be picked to win they return their 3 leading scorers. They're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. They've got 2 guards, Dallas Moore and Bo Beach, that are phenomenal. They got a Chris Davenport, a post player that's really good, and then Coach Driscoll does a tremendous job. He actually gave me my first job in coaching.
Really?
So he was looking for a game, and the dates fit. But they'll be picked to win the Atlantic Sun. They won at Purdue last year in a similar type game. So they're certainly very, very good, and they'll have a great chance to win their league and represent the Atlantic Sun in the NCAA tournament. So it'll certainly be another tough test for us, but we're glad it's at home.
All right, let's go through them one more time, 1 through 13, the 2015-16 schedule. The Rams begin on November 13th against the Siena Saints. Then on the 16th of November, they'll play either the Bryant Bulldogs or the Prairie View A&M Panthers, part of the 2K Classic. We'll find that out probably in the next 90 days or so. Then we head to New York City in one of the great basketball arenas in all of the world, Madison Square Garden, where VCU will play either Duke, Georgetown, or Wisconsin in a 2-game 2K Classic tournament-style play. Then on Wednesday, November 25th, the Rams come back to the Siegel Center to take on the American Eagles. The Eagles' first return to the Siegel Center in 14 years when they're a member of the CAA. Then on November 28th, it's a Saturday, the Rams take on Old Dominion here in that rivalry that's renewed. Then we turn the page to December at Middle Tennessee State on December 2nd. That's Kermit Davis's squad in a home-and-home. They'll come back next year. Then Florida State on Sunday, December 6th. That's in Atlanta, a neutral site game in Phillips Arena. Then Tuesday, December 15th, the Rams go back to Atlanta to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Then on December 19th, we come back to the Siegel Center for the first time in the month of December, playing the Cincinnati Bearcats, another NCAA tournament team from last year. On December 22nd, that's a Tuesday, The Rams play the Buffalo Bulls, an NCAA tournament team from this past year. On the 27th, they take on the Liberty Flames. On December, Liberty 8-24 last season. Then we'll round out the non-conference schedule. Our 5th NCAA tournament team, the North Florida Ospreys, on December 30th. What do you guys think? That's a pretty good schedule, huh? I think they like it. If they like it, that's one big chunk up.
They don't have to coach it.
They don't have to go to a lot of top 100 teams, it seems like, in here, Coach.
Well, when you build a schedule, you need 18 to 20 top 100 RPI teams, and you know kind of what the league will give you, and then it's on you as the coach to go out and get the rest of them to the best of your ability in the non-conference. You got to look at 3-year trends, 5-year trends in the numbers, and we think we've done that. We think we've locked in. And we'll certainly hit the 18 to 20 number for top 100 games, and I think we'll have at least 8 of them will be top 50, RPI games, and that's what you're looking for. You got to schedule the games first, and then you got to go win the games. Yeah. So the first step is scheduling them, then you got to go win them to give yourself the best best RPI possible. We've run all the numbers, done plenty of projections based on different records and what we'll do, and we feel very, very confident that our RPI will be extremely strong if we do what we intend on doing and do what we think we can do as a team and as a program this year.
All right, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left. The A10 schedule is also released this week. Not the dates, but the games that we'll play home and away. Home games this year, teams we play once: Duquesne, Fordham, Rhode Island, and St. Bonaventure. And then we have the games that we'll play both home and road. Will be Davidson, George Mason, who's now coached by Dave Paulson, who spent 7 years at Bucknell, George Washington, Richmond, and St. Louis. Then we go to Dayton, we go to LaSalle, we go to UMass, and we go to St. Joseph's. So again, a formidable schedule where we've got those 5 games that we play home and homes with Davidson, Mason, GW, Richmond, and St. Louis. Got to go to Dayton, but we get Rhode Island here. So as you look at it, it seems like kind of a balanced home and away. How do you feel?
Well, the away schedule is very, very tough.
Okay.
Our road conference schedule will be extremely tough, probably the toughest in the league. So, we're going to have to develop a mentality where we can go on the road and you got to outwill people on the road and find a way to impose your will and take their will a little bit. So we're going to work hard at that this summer with our training and the way we do things. Making sure that we're in the best position possible to go on the road and win, because that's where you make the biggest difference in terms of RPI and record and things like that, is stealing games on the road and being a tough road team. And that's something we pride ourselves on at Chattanooga, and that's something we're going to pride ourselves on here. So we certainly need to be ready for the road portion of the schedule, and then take care of business at home in front of our great fans at the Siegel Center. I know we don't like to lose at home, so we don't plan on doing that much.
All right, we got about 150, 200 people here, and the producer is actually in my ear asking me to ask you this question. Can you give us an update just on the roster and in terms of recruits and nothing specific, obviously, because I know there's but kind of the game plan over the next maybe 90 days in terms of the roster with scholarships and guys?
Well, we've got 2 scholarships right now. We're looking to fill them with at least 1 transfer who will sit out, and then we'll have them for a couple years. The 11 guys we have, I feel really good about them. I think people are underestimating us a little bit with what we have. Like we've got very good players, and it's my job to put them in the best position, give them confidence, get them where they need to be. But I think we've got very good players. I really, really like the guys that we've got coming back. And then we're going to add at least 1 kid who will sit out, and maybe another kid. I feel really confident with what we have right now. Obviously, we can't have some injuries at some key positions, but we're really too deep at most positions, and we've got some guys who can play multiple spots and are switchables, which is what you want. But we'll certainly look to add 1 guy who can sit out and possibly another, or see if we can maybe find somebody who can give us a little more shooting help this year that could push us over the hump shooting-wise. But I like the guys we're on. I like the guys we're involved with, and we'll fill it out with the best possible folks we can.
Are you the type of coach that when you go on Twitter, you look at social media, and teams are picking Rhode Island and Dayton, and when they talk about the upper echelon of the A10, the Rams aren't really mentioned, at least here we are in the month of June, not mentioned yet. Are you the type of coach that relishes that? I mean, do you like the fact that the guys, even here in late May, have kind of that back against the wall, chip on the shoulder mentality?
All that matters is March and where you are in March. Yeah. So I'm not into where everything is now. We're going to get better every day. And like I said, I think people are underestimating what we have. We've got very good players. We got kids who are working extremely hard right now, and they're doing the right stuff. And I really like our guys. I mean, maybe some of them haven't shown it yet on the court or haven't had the opportunity to show what they can do on the court. But I mean, Jordan Burgess has been just phenomenal.
That's good news.
Mike Gilmore's been great. Justin Tillman's been great. Doug Brooks is shooting it really, really well and attacking. And we got some guys we're adding that'll help us. So, I mean, I think I really like what we have. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, I'm excited about what we have, and I feel very confident in the guys that we have, and I feel very confident with us moving forward with those guys, and then we'll certainly supplement that with anybody that we need to. But I believe in what we got now.
All right, Coach, there it is, the 2015-16 schedule. Congratulations, it's a great schedule. I know everybody here is looking forward to it. Have a great weekend. Have a great summer. I'm sure we'll check in with you time to time on VCUathletics.com. I want to welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. It's going to be a fun night. If you are watching us here on the internet, come on out to the corner of Main and Vine. We're going to have the VCU baseball watch party. They're about 55 minutes from getting underway. They push the start time back to 8 o'clock in Dallas as the Rams take on the top seed Dallas Baptist. Do you know who they are? Dallas Baptist who?
I don't know.
It's a tough one. But they're the Patriots.
The Patriots.
The Dallas Baptist Patriots.
Let's just score 11 runs and
get our 11 runs and play tomorrow. We appreciate it. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Mike Voyak for running our board and producing it. Also want to thank our executive producer, Glenn Hoffman. Everybody, there's the schedule. It'll be online at VCUathletics.com. We'll hopefully see you here in an hour for the Rams and Dallas Baptist. Good night from Home Team Girl and Fan.